front pages this morning is the news that the coronavirus vaccine could start being delivered to people in the UK next month if it gets the green light from the regulator. Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, has asked the NHS to begin rolling it out in December. And believe it or not, tens of thousands of firefighters could be deployed to administer the new vaccine. Phil Garrigan is the COVID lead for the National Fire Chiefs Council and also Chief Fire Officer for Merseyside. He joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I think maybe people who haven't had direct contact with the fire service imagine that you just put out fires, but you do a lot more, and this kind of thing, delivering these kinds of logistics, is part of your job, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and we've been heavily involved over the course of the last 10 months with this response to COVID.
And do you feel ready to roll out the vaccine?
I think there's still a little bit of work to be done, to be perfectly honest with you. There's probably some legislative changes that would be required to allow firefighters to administer the vaccine. But we have been working quite closely with ambulance trusts and ambulance services over the course of the last number of months, which means even if we were to shift a little bit and drive ambulances, we could release paramedics, ambulance staff to administer the vaccine. But as we move forward with the right training, all of my firefighters, all of the firefighters nationally, highly professional, highly competent, they're all trained in first aid. So the administration of a vaccination at a point in time doesn't seem too much of a big step.
It is quite different, though, from what you sign up for if you agree to become a firefighter, isn't it? I mean, how do firefighters feel about potentially delivering vaccinations, giving people jabs?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of trepidation. But as you say, the Fire and Rescue Service doesn't just respond to fires anymore. We've spent the last probably 10, 20 years going to people's homes, advising them around fire safety. More latterly, that's extended to talk about broader safety issues affecting them, and indeed some issues affecting their health. So firefighters have become much more rounded than probably what you envisaged them to be in the first instance. So firefighters are really highly skilled, and they have the capabilities and the capacity to do this.
And what have government been telling you about exactly what you'll be required to do and where? Will you be expected to go into care homes? Will you be setting up testing centres? Do you know what's expected of you?
Yeah, and I think that's quite important, because we jump to the conclusion that firefighters will be administering a vaccine. It's not necessarily that. We've got our fire stations which are distributed across the UK. So certainly we could help in the storage and support, the distribution and the logistics. And myself in Merseyside, we've been heavily involved in the mass testing sites, and so we are able to provide some site support, managerially or coordination. So at the mass testing sites, when they are established across the UK, and that extends to the mass vaccination sites. So we've got a whole multitude of skills that we can bring to bear.
And does it feel rewarding to know that there is potentially a really pivotal role that the fire service can play at the coalface of fighting this disease? Yeah,
I think it's incredibly important that we play our part. I said from the outset, maybe probably 10 months or so ago now, the Fire and Rescue Service have always been ready, willing and able to play a significant part. So over the course of the last number of months, we've done over 350,000 activities, from driving ambulances to delivering prescriptions to providing even support to coronary services. So we are really, really effective, and we're really willing and able to support that big push to ensure that the public are protected and the vaccination is administered.
Phil Garrigan, COVID lead for the National Fire Chiefs Council. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Times Radio Breakfast.
It's 9 minutes to 9. Now let's talk about this.